I'm Erik Luzak from the GetReeled network. I'm going to show you how to properly spool a baitcaster. So if you're out there looking for a baitcaster, you notice two different kinds. The original is this, a round baitcaster. Still very common today, and what most guys are using them for now is heavier applications, pike, muskie. They're stronger gears to it, usually a slower gear ratio, so it's actually reeling in a little bit slower. And a lot of them come with a clicker still. So anyone trolling, you get a hit, you'll hear it, okay? That's the one kind. The most popular kind nowadays are these low profile baitcasters. They're getting smaller and smaller. This one weighs just over 7 ounces, has a drop down gearbox which makes a smoother drag system, but they also have a lot of features that make them easier to cast and easier to control your cast. So this is what you'll see out here. If you're fishing for bass, I recommend trying out a low profile baitcaster, heavier applications, a round one. So, you got your baitcast reel. There's two different types of spools out there, and they really do determine how you're going to spool your line. There is a low-rise, smooth metal spool like this, or a high-rise wiffle spool like this, which has holes in it, and it's higher. Now, the reason they have this now is you can actually save line. You don't have to spool as much line on anymore, and it helps your braided line grip to the spool, so it's very beneficial. So if you're going to spool of a baitcaster that has a low-rise, smooth metal spool like this, you have to use a backing of monofilament fishing line. You can use braid, but you cannot tie braid directly to that. You have to start with mono, and I'll wind up a few casts worth of mono to at least cover that spool, and then I'll tie a blood knot direct from the mono to the braid and continue spooling the braid if I want to fish braid. If you're fishing mono, have at her, just have the whole thing mono, that's fine. What I'm going to show you is how to spool one of these wiffle spools with braided line from start to finish. You take the loose end of the line, and you go in the reel eye. Like I said, using the wiffle spool, so I'm going to put it in one hole and out another. Grab it. Now I'm going to tie a very basic half-hitch knot. This is just going to hold it to the spool. Boom. And like that. Cut off the tag end. Okay. Now when you're ready to start spooling it on, it's best to have a friend to hold the spool for you so it stays straight and he can apply tension and help you. Hold that for me. Now, I want you to notice that the line is coming over the top of the spool and then onto my reel. So essentially it goes over the top of the spool and then over the top of my reel and into my reel that way. If you go the reverse way, you can cause tangles and twists. Now I always pinch the line with my index finger and thumb as the line is coming into the reel, but I also ask my friend to use tension on the spool as well. So Andy, if you could tighten up a little bit, not that much, a little bit less. There, okay. So basically, just start winding in, nice and tight. You want to go until it's about 1/8 of an inch away from the top of the spool. You don't want to over spool it, you don't want to under spool it. You want enough so it's a good cast, and that's perfect right there. So we're all spooled up, but there is a lot more to baitcasters than this, so be sure to check out the other baitcasting videos.
For more great fishing videos, head over to YouTube and check out the GetReeled channel.